Hey everyone, it's Jeremiah from Alamance Battleground, and it's time for another Tryon's March real-time update for today, May 25th. Now, the Army is still encamped at Herman Husband's on Sandy Creek, and the regulators are not really troubling the militia at all at this point. The main issue that they are contending with is the weather. The rain continues. It has rained every single day since the first mention of rain a few days ago, and in the orderly book for the militia on yesterday evening, May 24th, it notes that heavy rains continue night and day. However, even with the rain, Governor Tryon is trying to get his army to continue moving, and in the evening, those after orders for yesterday or last night do state that the army should be ready to march in the morning. However, in the morning orders for today, the first thing that is mentioned is heavy rains prevent the army from marching this day. And so their plans are scrapped, and they're going to be here at Herman Husband's for at least another day while the rain makes it impossible to move any further west. And so, because the Army is halted for the moment, I wanted to talk a little bit about Herman Husband, since they are encamped at his plantation along Sandy Creek. And what is it that Herman Husband is doing at this time? There is some evidence that suggests that he was present at the Battle of Alamance, but again, as I've noted before, the Regulator documentation is very scarce at this time, so it's very difficult to tell specifically what was going on. However, thanks to one piece of written documentation from the Moravians at Bathabra in modern-day Winston-Salem, we do have some information about what Herman Husband is up to. So, only a few days ago, the diary entry for Bathabra notes that this afternoon, an unknown man, possibly Herman Husband, came to Brother Bond and in the name of James Hunter, the chief of the Regulators, and invited him to come to his house and attend to the wounded there, as the surgeon who was with them did not have the necessary instruments. There were about 20 wounded men there. And it's actually in a subsequent diary entry a little bit later that notes that their suspicions are confirmed. It was in fact Herman Husband who came to Bathabra and was looking for a surgeon to come and help with some of these wounded Regulators. So we do know that Husband is in the area, and he is trying to get support for these wounded Regulators who have been injured during the fighting at the Battle of Alamance. He is not going to stay in North Carolina much longer. He certainly is not going to come back here to the Sandy Creek area, since the Army is staying here, and it is far too tense a situation. In addition to this, Herman Husband, being one of the main leaders of the Regulators, is an outlaw, and if he is captured, he will almost certainly be tried for treason and hanged as a result of capture. So he is not interested in getting anywhere close to the militia, and fairly soon he's going to leave North Carolina and he won't come back. He's going to head up to Maryland. He takes on the pseudonym Twoscape Death, the first name Twoscape and the last name Death, and as he travels under that pseudonym, he is going to make his way to Maryland, where he will then resume as Herman Husband and is going to be regaling people with tales of the Battle of Alamance, the abuses of Governor Tryon, talking to anyone who will listen, and then he will continue on to Western Pennsylvania, where he is going to settle and will stay for the rest of his life. He does get involved in the American Revolution from Pennsylvania, and then after the Revolutionary War, during the early period in the late 1780s, he gets involved in another political movement that comes to be known as the Whiskey Rebellion, and becomes a leader in that movement as well. Again, the Whiskey Rebellion is not successful, just like the Regulator movement is not successful. So it's a little bit of a hard luck story for Herman Husband as a political leader, but he does evade capture here in North Carolina and is able to stay alive to fight another day. So that concludes our update here for May 25th from Sandy Creek. The Army is going to stay here at least a little bit longer, but I will be back once the Army is able to get back on the road and is able to march again after this rain lets up a little bit and the fords and creeks are able to be crossed again. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you again soon.